Und damit willkommen zurück zu The Great Inventory Research 2 Chronicles. Muss man sagen, I must apologize, Iris. Ja, das gesagt. Oh, friends. This is really all my fault. Early, I made a promise, you see, that until the time was right, I'd keep the details about your father a secret. I know. I've been very naughty. I'll take the autopsy report back to Dr. Gorey and apologize, I promise. Yes, we'll go together, I think. Then let me look after it for you until we got there. Ah, jetzt haben wir Clint's Autopsiebericht. Darf er das dann noch anschauen, oder? I must go and water her braids, I think. Dementsprechend, aber das will ich jetzt nennenswert, weil sie noch vorher anschauen. Victim, name Clint von 6, männlich, 33 Nationalität. Also mich wundert halt, dass da auch die Nationalität dabei steht. Gut, mag vielleicht sehr relevant sein, I guess, aber okay. 31. Mai zwischen 9, also 21 Uhr und Mitternacht. Tod von einer einzelnen Stichwunde ins Herz. Autopsie. Es geht dann wahrscheinlich um die nennenswerten John Wilson, die Unterschrift würde ich mal behaupten. Zumindest gehe ich mal davon aus, dass man darauf eingehen wird, I guess. I'll see you later. Poor Irish, she must be feeling awful. I know Mr. Jones is here for her, but still. Ah. How? What's the meaning of this, Mr. Jones? Mr. Jones? Oh dear me. So you have no teeth, I see, but that would mean what on earth the matter, Mrs. Sato? You have turned as white as a sheet. It's his autopsy report, Mr. Naruhodo. The one from 10 years ago. The writing isn't Dr. Wilson's at all. Hey? What did you mean? How could you possibly know that? Because I know this writing very well. This writing it's my father. What? Professor Mikotoba's? Indeed, it's and no, you know, my dear fellows. Also ich komme jetzt nicht ganz klar mit. Also hat dann quasi ihr Vater dann das unterschrieben? No, I don't know anything. What on earth does all of this mean, Mr. Jones? Because the ideas that's slowly forming in my mind, it's just too extraordinary to believe. Please, you have to explain. Autopsy report. So this autopsy report was actually penned by Professor Mikotoba then? But that makes no sense. It's possible. Surely not possible, my dear fellow. Pray take a deep breath and think again. Yes, you're right in some way. It actually makes a great deal of sense. It does. 10 years ago is when father returned to Japan after his extended study tour in Britain. In to his return, where was Dr. Mikotoba engaged? Ah, of course. He was an assistant in Dr. Wilson's laboratory, learning about forensic science. And as an assistant, he would have aided with the discussion work, making detailed notes, which would be assembled into the full autopsy report. Once the work was complete, the heat corner would check the context and put his signature on the document. Okay. In other words, the only writing of Dr. Wilson's in the report would be his signature at the end. I see. Ah, okay. Jetzt ist er quasi für mich ein nennenswerter Konsens, muss man fairerweise sagen. Sagen wir das mal so, wie es ist, denn eines ist sicher, also ihr Vater hat das jetzt quasi die Autopsie durchgeführt, aber Iris' Vater hat das dann quasi unterschrieben, also quasi die Kontrolle durchgeführt, wie ich das jetzt verstanden habe. So, Iris got the wrong end of the stick, you mean? She saw that and assumed the rule reported had been written by Dr. John Hay Wilson, which is very understandable, of course. Also müssen wir ihren Vater diesbezüglich mal befragen, muss man sagen, what a complicated situation. Ah, jetzt haben wir das noch quasi nennenswerterweise aktualisiert, so wie es aussieht. Dementsprechend, yay. Your partner is thinking about it. Most of what we know about you, Mr. Schon, comes from the published stories of your exploits. Yes, the adventure of Sherlock Holmes, written by Iris. And we really have no way of knowing what's fact and what's fiction. Most troubling for you, my dear fellow, I'm sure. So what about this supposed partner of yours? Did he really exist or not? Ah, you have came straight to the point, I see. And please came straight to the answer. I believe Iris explained it in one of her installments. He was a trusted comrade and the only person I could truly have called a friend. And did this partner of yours shortly make a record of all your case? Are his notes really stored inside that metal chest? Absolutely, my dear madam. Absolutely. So, where's your partner now? Ja, wir sind ein wirklicher Partner. We rarely meet. You see, he lives on the other side of the world. Oh boy. But if this autopsy report and the records of all your old cases were penned by the same hand, and if the autopsy report was written though not signed by your famous partner, there would be only one logical conclusion. Pray impress me. Your partner would have to be Chujin Mikotoba. In other words, Miss Susato's father. On my word. Was das jetzt wieder? Naruto. Meine Wurst. Also das mein Wort. Yes. You are coming along wonderfully. You have hit open the Mythos at last. You have finally grasped the art of deductions. You mean to say, allows me to interrupt you. To my great friend and partner Mikotoba. Professor Mikotoba? Der wird aufgewacht. Schäumst in Mikotoba. Does this mean that you're the real Dr. Wilson? No. My dear, I'm still my old self, Chujin Mikotoba, your father. Oh, of course. This is obviously too much for Susato-san to take in. I must say that how my old friend has attained worldwide celebrate as a great mystery solver. This is the greatest mystery of all. I still remember the first time we meet. Pray remind me, when was it again, Mikotoba? 16 years ago, Sholmes. Ah, yes, quite 16 years ago. I must arrived from Japan with Shishiro and Genshin. I was in search of lodgings close to the hospital, some comfortable rooms at a reasonable price, but rents are deliciously high in this particular area. That's right, so I decided I needed some to share lodging and expenses, and was fortunate enough to be introduced to Sholmes, who found himself in a similar situation. I was a hollow fellow back then, a mere shadow of the great detective you see before you now. Damals war ich noch ein Schatten meiner selbst. Ist jetzt wohlgemerkt. I was working at the hospital chemical laboratory at the time, including my curiosity tales for little gain, and the situation of your cohabitation led to us parsing cases together, you see. Hard to believe. It was a mere 6 years. We had a great many adventures, but in the last years of Mikotoba's stay in Britain, had most infamous of cases presented itself. The case with which you've become rather familiar, there's the professor's killings. After the trial, Shishiro and I were summoned back home. Hardly surprising given the circumstance. So there you have it. And yes, you know all the detailed records by my trusty chronicler remain it metal chest. This just amazing. Professor Mikotoba really is Mr. Scholz' famous partner. Oh boy. Father, goodness my dear, what a cutting look. As your daughter, I am very proud to learn that you were the great detective, great partner. But nevertheless, there's another mystery that I really must ask you to explain now. And it is, you know very well what it is. The unresolved matter of Iris' father. Of course, I'd most forgotten about that one. I should have seen this coming, I suppose. Iris' father, oh man, oh man. Iris told us that all the news about the great detective adventures that are in that metal chest were written by her father. Isn't that correct, Mr. Franz? That is indeed what I told you, young Iris. But if you Mr. Franz's partner father and you wrote all this case notes, then Iris' father must be you. Das kann doch auch nicht logischerweise sein. On my word, Mitsusato. Ich meine, das hieße ja auf ein Wort, aber egal ist. You are coming along wonderfully as well. You too have it opened the mythos at last. You have finally grasped the art of deductions. What you have always told me, father, is that my mother died when I was born 16 years ago, and you left me in grandma's care with you embarked on your study tour of Britain, and I've always accepted that, but all this about Iris. Oh, there is it, Susato-san's ice-cold style. No, hold a minute. It was very complicated. I mean, it's really not what you think. Then perhaps you'd like to explain exactly what it is. There is it. No, there's ice go from ice cold to red hot. Just before she... No, really. You've got the wrong end of the stick. Don't say something, man. Oh man, der hat sich jetzt angezogen und dann... That's quite enough, my fiery fellows. Mr. Franz, when did he get all dressed up? Will man das wirklich wissen, wann hat das immer alles war? Das hat er wahrscheinlich die ganze Zwischenzeit gemacht, während jemand auf ihn geachtet hat, aber I guess... Würde ich mal meinen, das ist mal so der Fall. Whilst I don't like to interrupt this exciting exploration of the past, Mikotoba and I have one argument that requires a short excursion. But it's very late, Mr. Franz. Where must you go? Why, my dear madam, it is not obviously my partner and I must pursue our natural enemies. So get your coat, Mikotoba. The game is awful, but Jones, I really must give Susato a full explanation, I think. Later, my dear fellow, later. Our carriage awaits downstairs already. You haven't changed one iota, have you? I mean, really, I visit your home after 10 long years, and when I opened that chest, it a fit of nostalgia. I could explicate pass out. And as if that wasn't enough, when I eventually regained consciousness, I plunged straight into all this. Father, Please go with Mr. Johnson now. Well, I've no doubt that what happened to you were acting in everyone's best interest. I trust you completely, Susato. In sending the great detective and his great partner of one on revenge adventures together. More than I could have hoped for in my cold wilderness. Very well then, we'll speak again later. So, I believe your own work is done for the day. I wish you the best luck for tomorrow. Yes, Naruhodo, good luck in battle and reaching a decision about whatever to go back to Japan, I suppose.
So much happened that day that I barely knew what to do with myself. It would only be later that I'd come to realize how amidst the chaos I'd unleashed were all the clues I needed to finally unearth the truth, and that all the turmoil was necessary to give me the resolve to see everything through.
Oh Mann. End. Dann ist das halt hier das Ende. The Legendary Pair. Ja, ich würde das jetzt mal speichern, muss ich sagen. Und würde sogar sagen, ich beende hier den Part, weil das sieht mir ganz so nach aus, als wären wir im nächsten Part, muss man sagen, die letzte Episode starten. Also macht es bis dahin gut und auf Wiedersehen, meine Lieben.